Give me the Bible, star of gladness gleaming, to cheer the wanderer lone and tempest-tossed. No storms can hide that radiance peaceful beaming, since Jesus came to seek and save the lost. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible when my heart is broken, when sin and grief have filled my soul with fear. Give me the precious words by Jesus spoken. Hold up faith's lamp to show my Savior near. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, all my steps enlighten, teach me the dangers of these realms below. That lamp of safety o'er the gloom shall brighten, that light alone the path of peace can show. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, lamp of life immortal, hold up that splendor by the open grave. Show me the light from heaven's shining portals, show me the glory gilding Jordan's wave. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Break thou the bread of life, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst break the loaves beside the sea. Beyond the sacred page, I seek thee, Lord. My spirit pants for thee, O living word. Bless thou the truth, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst bless the bread by Galilee. Then shall all bondage cease, all fetters fall, and I shall find my peace, my all in all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good noontime. I am O'Shea, servant of Christ, and for our next mining expedition, I'm going to be your servant. Please bear with us as we wait for our viewers. I hope that you are doing well and that your day is going good and that you get some use out of this video. Hey, Reba! She says hi, O'Shea. Hello, Reba. She says hi, all as well. How you doing, sister? You having nachos for lunch again? She says she's doing fabulous. No nachos today. No nachos today. The chips went away. I just finished putting up the link for that cowboy coffee I mentioned in devotion. So if you are interested in the cowboy coffee, you get to go back to the devotion and you'll find it in the chat. Reba says, what's you eating? I don't know yet. I don't think anyone's gotten that far today. Might find something to snack on. Maybe. And then I'm going to go get my tool belt on and go into the chicken house and make some repairs and reconstruct our brooder pen. That's what I got planned for the day. Now what happens for the day is a whole nother thing. Could be a whole nother thing. Oftentimes what I got planned for the day isn't what happens for the day. Reba says sounds exciting. Modifying the chicken house or the cowboy coffee? The other side quest that could end up happening today is I go to the garden and weed, which I intend on doing. Now, whether it happens now after live stream, or whether it happens during Let's Read, that's a different matter. Or I may end up getting started again on building our addition to our porch. Those are like the three main things that could happen today. The three I can think of. Reba says, I'm not sure. The coffee sounds too strong for me. I'm more of an iced peach tea type. Well, that's the thing with cowboy coffee. It's not that strong per se. It got good flavor, but it's not as bitter. And he'll explain that in the video as well. Because in the process of boiling it, you boil out the acid, the acidic component in coffee that makes it so bitter. So, cowboy coffee, when made correctly, is actually a really smooth cup of coffee. And once you figure out how much grounds you like per water, which his recommendation is quarter cup of grounds, quarter water. Once you figure that out, whether you like a little bit less or a little bit more, you can get the perfect cup of coffee for your taste. But an iced peach tea does sound really good right now, too. It's starting to get warmer outside, so gonna have to switch to cold water before too long. Well, Reba, looks like it might be just you and me for the first start of it. Oh, and I don't have the Bible shared yet. Remus. Remus sounds great. I always heard if you put a horseshoe in it and it sinks to the bottom, add more coffee. In the video, he addresses how they get the grounds to sink to the bottom. And how he does it is he adds some cold water. And it takes the grounds to the bottom of the can and lets you pour off the coffee. Because there's no filter involved. I mean, cowboys out there 100 miles away from town, no filters. And contrary to common belief, not very many of them use their sock to hold their coffee grounds in. Instead, they'd always add a little bit of cold water and the coffee grounds at the bottom. And he's like, when I know some folks that what Cowboy Kent says in his video. He goes, I know some folks who are like, oh, just crack an egg on in there. It'll sink the grounds right to the bottom. He looks at the camera and says, well, folks, I don't like my eggs in my coffee. And some people say drop a horseshoe in it and that'll take them grounds right to the bottom. No, folks. You add some cold water that takes the grounds right at the bottom and gives you that smooth cup of coffee. That's what he says, and I quote almost to the letter. Cowboy Kent has good humor. I thoroughly enjoy watching him and some of his cooking tutorials. She says I might try it sometimes. Just good humor. The idea of cracking an egg into your coffee pot to get the grounds to settle to the bottom is a really funny idea. Now, the flavor of the egg would be really interesting as well, considering that water is boiling hot. You'd basically make a coffee egg drop soup, I think. That would be mighty weird. Alrighty, we better get into this mine shaft here. Today we will be examining our lovely mine shaft of Psalms, chapter 92. Rita says yuck. I must say, I think I'd agree with you on that one. I like egg drop soup and I like coffee, but I don't think I like them together. Psalms 92, y'all. Let's mine. A psalm, a song for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Jehovah, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, with an instrument of 10 strings, and with the psaltery, with a solemn sound upon the harp. For thou, Jehovah, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. How great are thy works, O Jehovah! Thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, O Jehovah, art on high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Jehovah, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn hast thou exalted, like the horn of the wild ox. I am anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also hath seen my desire on mine enemies. Mine ears have heard my desire of the evildoers that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of Jehovah. They shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall bring forth fruit in old age, and they shall be full of sap and green, to show that Jehovah is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Psalm 92. So, in Psalm 92, it is a psalm for the Sabbath day. So, we don't have a clear description of who wrote it, but that's okay, because we don't really need to know who wrote it. Otherwise, it would be written. But the psalmist starts off with declaring a simple fact. It is a good thing to give thanks to Jehovah. It is good, he says, to thank God. And it is a good thing to sing praises unto his name. It's good, he says, to show forth your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness every night. With an instrument of 10 strings and with the psaltery, with the solemn sound upon the harp. For thou, Jehovah, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. The psalmist is very delighted. He is glad in God. Why, he says? Because Jehovah, God, has made me glad through his works. He says, the works of God have made me glad. He says, I will triumph in the works of thy hands. Because of what you do, he says to God, I triumph. He goes on to praise God. He says, how great are thy works, O Jehovah! Thy thoughts are very deep. He understands and acknowledges that God's works are very great. That God is very great. And his thoughts are also very deep. They are well thought through, the psalmist acknowledges. And he switches a little bit on his perspective here. He says, "A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever." He takes comfort in this fact here. He says, when the wicked are doing well, and when the workers of iniquity bloom, when they're doing well, it is because they shall be destroyed forever. The psalmist looks long term. The wicked and the workers of iniquity may be doing really good right now, but they're going to be destroyed forever in the long run. But thou, O Jehovah, art on high forevermore. He says, God, you're on high. You're in control forevermore. He says, for lo, thine enemies, your enemies, Jehovah, your enemies shall perish, he says. They aren't going to make it. And all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. They're going to flee. They're going to dissipate. Poofta. He says, but he looks back at God and says, but my horn hast thou exalted like the horn of the wild ox. I am anointed with fresh oil. It kind of makes me think of a longhorn cow. My horn hast thou exalted like the horn of the wild ox. You have made it great. He gives God the glory. You made my horn great. You exalted it. O Lord. He says, I am anointed with fresh oil. Oh, and as a side note, a lot of the times when horn is mentioned in the Bible, it is a symbol for power. My power hast thou exalted, he says. Mine eye also hath seen the desire on mine enemies, hath seen my desire on mine enemies. He says, my eye has seen what I wanted to happen to my enemies. My ears have heard what I wanted to happen to the evildoers that rise up against me. Then he switches to the righteous. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. The righteous are going to excel. They're going to do better than the wicked. Why? Because they are planted in the house of Jehovah. They shall flourish in the courts of our God. In the long run, the righteous win. And they shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be full of sap and green, to show that Jehovah is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. The psalmist here shows forth utter confidence in God. Jehovah is upright, he says. He is my rock, and in him is no unrighteousness. He displays in this psalm his utter faith and courage in God. He knows that he can depend upon the Lord. Psalm 92. There be gold in them there pages. David says, thank you for them there golden nuggets. Well, you're very welcome, Reba. Thank you for reading with me. And putting up with my humor. Even though it was just you and I today. I wonder where everyone else went. Everyone else took the day off, I guess. Oh well. Rebus, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful day as well, sister. Maybe find some nachos. Love you, Sister Reba. Till we meet again, God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Love you. Bye-bye.